Hi everyone and welcome back. Today is an exciting day for me because you all know what a big fan I am of the Ordinary skincare, and today is going to be testing the Ordinary's High Adherence Silicone Primer. So this is the packaging, just the same as all the other Ordinary packaging. So let's take a look inside. And here we have the primer itself. Come on, camera, focus. So there it is. This is a 30ml tube and it is, wait for it, £3.90. Yep, you heard it right, £3.90. Which I think is an absolute steal for a primer. But then again, you all know that the Ordinary skincare is really, really affordable and really, really good. So what I'm going to do is, I've filmed this video a little bit back to front. I decided to do my intro once I'd got my makeup on and everything else. So I'll take you through into the application of the primer and then me applying my foundation on top of the primer. So let's have a look at the claims of this product and what it's supposed to do for us. So the Ordinary's High Adherence Silicone Primer is high adherence, blurring surface smoother and primer. So it says High Adherence Silicone Primer uses advanced adaptive silicones to act as a matte, hydrating, blurring primer for makeup that looks higher in definition and adheres for longer. The formula can also be used alone as a non-greasy hydrator that reduces the looks of pores and imperfections. The directions are: use as the last step in skincare regime, either on its own or as a makeup primer. So that's interesting to note, that if you're not feeling a foundation day, you could use this after your moisturiser, and it claims it will perfect your skin, which is great. So it basically, it sounds pretty good. Is it too good to be true? Let's find out. So let's go on to the next step. Right, so let's go on to testing this primer. So I have cleansed my skin as I normally would, using the Philosophy's Purity Cleanser. I have then applied the Ordinary's Buffet and then the hyaluronic acid, and then as my moisturiser used the Roche-Posay Effaclar H moisturising lotion. So to try and limit any confounding variables that might affect the test of the primer, I've done everything the same as I would normally. I've cleaned off my beauty blender, so we've got a nice clean beauty blender. I'm going to use the foundation that I would ordinarily wear because I know how that reacts to my skin and the longevity of it. So let's get cracking. So here is the primer. We know what it's supposed to do. Here's the box, just for your reference. So we know what this primer is supposed to do. It's a high adherence silicone based primer, as we've said. So what I'm going to do is cover half of my face with the primer, and then I'm going to leave the other side unprimed, and then I'll check in with you throughout the day to see how the primer's doing, if it's made any vast difference to the way the foundation's wearing. So yeah, let's get cracking. So the formulation of it is just your typical silicone based primer. So let's pop it on this side. It smooths on really nicely, as any silicone based primer does. It's really making my skin feel really smooth, and I've pumped out too much by a mile there, so only a little is required, it seems. So just let that settle, give it a sort of a good pat down on the areas where I know I've got enlarged pores. So let's have a little look. This side definitely seems a lot smoother, and the camera probably won't pick up my pores, but it certainly has filled in the pores. Right, don't quite know what to do with this bit now. Right, so now on to the foundation. So as I said, I'm using Estee Lauder Double Wear in 1C1 Cool Bone, which is my normal foundation. Let's give that a shake. Oh, my bugbear with this foundation, no pump. I know it's everybody's bugbear with this foundation is the lack of pump. So let's dot some on. Still feel like this colour's a little bit dark for me. Right, so in with the Beauty Blender on the prime side. It's going on really nicely. Really nicely, evenly. The spreadability is really good. It feels really weird doing half of my face. So yeah, that's gone on really nicely. See, with this foundation, I normally use either the NYX Angel Veil, which I absolutely love, or Estee Lauder's Mattifying Primer. But that's gone on equally as well. It does feel a little bit tacky, and generally it does dry down a little bit faster. But yeah, that feels really nice. And certainly looking in the mirror, it's looking really nice. I would say that it's not as matte as with the mattifying primer from Estee Lauder, but that might be a good thing, because I think sometimes I do feel with this foundation that I am really matte and really flat. So I've never actually applied this foundation without a primer underneath it, so let's see how we go with that. Oh, it doesn't seem to be going on too badly. The product doesn't seem as fluid. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be blending out quite as easy as it did with the prime side, but that could be me. Looking at the two sides as well, it just doesn't seem as nice. I can't really explain why it doesn't seem as nice. It just doesn't have the same kind of look to it. Let's get close up. Please excuse me, I look super scary again. These under eye bags are really annoying me. So looking close up, this side looks a little bit more luminous than this side, I would say. But the foundation's applied really nicely on both sides. But if I was to choose a side, obviously I'd choose the prime side. The tackiness is starting to die down now, which is great. So application wise, I definitely prefer the prime side, but then again I always do prefer a primer under a foundation. But it's certainly done as good a job as my matte perfecting primer would have done, so that's good news. So now I'm going to get on, do the rest of my face, and then we will, throughout the day, check in on this and see how it's holding up. I would like to say as well, I am really oily around my T-zone, and I do have to bake and then sort of add powder throughout the day, so it will be really interesting to see if this primer can actually keep my oils at bay and keep my foundation from breaking up around my nose and around my forehead as well. So yeah, that's this bit done, and I'll catch you all later. See you in a while. Hi everyone, it is now 12:33. And the foundation and primer have been in situ for about 2 hours. So I've done a bit of cooking for our Sunday lunch. And so I've been in the kitchen, it's getting a little bit hot and sweaty. So let's have a look. So everything's still holding in there really nicely. My nose hasn't broken up at all yet. We've got no creasing. I would certainly say that this side, so the primed side, the pores are definitely more refined than on this side. It's certainly, I mean, I know it's supposed to be a mattifying primer, and it is to an extent, but it just gives a bit more luminosity than the primers that I'm used to. So that's great. So all in all, at the 2-hour mark, everything is absolutely fine. This side of my face, I still prefer. It feels much softer, much smoother, and it just looks better, which makes me very happy indeed. I desperately, desperately want this product to work, because at £3.90, as opposed to, you know, high-end primer I have is sort of £24, you know, the NYX primer is about £13, so I'm desperate. I want this product to work, because for the price point it's brilliant. So I will check in with you again soon, but up to now, we're looking good. Hi everybody, welcome back. So I haven't been able to check in as much as I'd wanted to today. But the time now is 17:56, so it's nearly 6 o'clock. So 10:30. So it's coming up to the sort of 8-hour mark that the primer and foundation have been on for, and I've come right under my light so that I can try and give you the best view of how things are looking. So let's get a bit closer. Please, I apologise for the lighting, it's just yeah, I'm doing the best that I can, but this primer has done a brilliant job. I've got oily down my nose, I have sort of powdered my nose a little bit, but it's hanging on in there really, really well. Normally by this sort of point I would have a lot of the foundation breaking up over this oily zone and here as well, and if I get closer you can see that everything's still looking pretty nice. I mean, it's still looking pretty nice on this side, but as you can see here around my nose it's breaking up a little bit more than on this side, but all in all the foundation has worn really well on this primed side. I have noticed that it has broken up a little bit, and it is falling into my smile lines a little bit here, which is a shame. But I mean, double wear is notoriously a really long wearing foundation anyway, so there's certainly a lot of life left in this. If I wanted to pop out, you know, then I'd be more than happy to. I'd just powder my nose and off I'd go. But really, the primed side has certainly been a hell of a lot better than the non-primed side. So my thoughts at this point is it's doing a damn good job. For the £3.90 you just can't fault it, you can't. And it's really has. I mean, even my partner commented today, he said, "Oh, your foundation looks really nice today," or "Your skin looks really nice today." And I said, "No, my foundation looks really nice today." But he noticed how much my pores look refined. And then obviously I said to him, "Which side's got the primer? Which side's got the primer?" And he said that it was this side. So it obviously it'll make a difference. And if a man will notice, it's got to be good. So yeah, I'm going to leave the foundation on for a little bit longer. I'm sort of getting to the point now where I really just want to take my makeup off. So yeah, a few more hours and then I'll come back to you and we can have our final thoughts on how it's worn. But up to now, I can't fault it. I really, really can't. And it will certainly be my go-to primer. See you later. Hello again. It's only me. So this is my last check-in now. I'm getting to the point where I'm snuggled up in my pyjamas and my dressing gown, and I really just want to take this makeup off. It is 8:06 and I want to get my face clean. But let's talk about the primer. So let me get a little bit closer. Again, excuse the lighting. This is the best I can do at the minute. But it's all looking good. The prime side now after another couple of hours, and bathing the little girl. So I've had lots of splashing, and yeah, so there's been lots of moisture and steam knocking around, and it's still held up. So that's testament to the primer. The prime side, I think, still looks better than the non-prime side. You can see texture here on my skin. So you can see the texture here, but on this side it's nowhere near as prominent. Yes, I'm looking really oily now. The makeup's still not really broken up on the prime side, but it has quite a lot around my nose here. So yeah, my thoughts on this primer, I'm just really impressed. Just really impressed. It's held onto my makeup. It says it's mattifying, but I think it's just enough mattifying. I do tend to find that the primer I've got already is just too much. I look too flat, too matte, and even though I'm oily, I still like a certain amount of, you know, I just like to look a little bit more glowy rather than just like I've just a flat face. So I can't fault this primer at all. I think this will be my go-to primer from here on in, my sort of day-to-day primer, and then I'll use my other one for special occasions and things. So yeah, I can't fault it at all. It's dulled down my pores. It helped quite a lot with creasing of foundation under my eyes, because I did actually run it up and under my eyes. It helped with that. It's kept my oils down to an extent. I have had to powder in the day, but then again I always have to powder in the day, so that's nothing new, and I would expect the same from any of my other primers. So what else can I say apart from, I think for the price point you really must go and get yourself some. I can't say anything else to you. It's been comfortable to wear, and here where I'm having a breakout, my little patch of eczema, by this sort of point normally this would be showing through, but it isn't. It's not really clung onto it and emphasised it and made it look worse. It's just sort of allowed the foundation to adhere to it. So I think that the primer has ticked all the boxes for what it claims to do. And yeah, as a fan of the original products, this one doesn't disappoint. So that's my roundup, and we've tested the primer and I'm happy with it. So thank you for watching the video. If you've liked what you've seen, then please subscribe, because as I keep saying, it does mean a lot to me. So yeah, I'm going to go and get my face nice and clean. I'm looking forward to that, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.